In Hillsborough County, your tap water is more than just convenient. It's safe, trusted, and affordable. Every drop is monitored 24 hours a day and tested regularly to meet strict state and federal standards, so you can trust what's coming out of your tap. Skip the plastic water bottles and go with tap. That way, you're choosing sustainability and savings. Hillsborough County Water Resources is proud to deliver quality on tap. For helpful tips and for more information, visit hcfl.gov/qualityontap.
In a world where loyal companions await, one place stands as their beacon of hope. The Pet Resource Center of Hillsborough County, where you can adopt your very own superhero. Adopt a dog, find your sidekick, and unlock the power of unconditional love. Suit up, show up, and adopt today. For more information, visit hcfl.gov/pets.
Good evening and welcome to the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners' final budget public hearing. There are two public hearings scheduled for this evening, one on the Capital Improvement Program, or CIP, and the second on the fiscal year 2026 millage rates and budget. Because changes to the budget could impact the first year of the 6-year CIP, it is appropriate to conclude the budget public hearing prior to concluding the CIP hearing. So at this time, I'd like to open the CIP public hearing and then entertain a motion to continue that public hearing to the conclusion of the public hearing on the budget.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Cohen, second Commissioner Wilstel. Please record your vote.
Motion carried 7-0.
All right, the purpose of tonight's public hearing on the budget is to take public comment on the millage rates and budget prior to the board adopting millage rates and budget for fiscal year 2026. In a moment, the budget director will read into the record the change in the aggregate fiscal year 2026 millage rate from the aggregate rollback rate, after which he will briefly discuss the status of the budget. At that point, we will take public comment. At the conclusion of public comment, the board will discuss any final changes to the millage or budget. If necessary, there'll be a short break while the impact of any final changes is calculated. Finally, state law requires certain information to be read into the record prior to the board adopting resolutions on the millage rates and the budget. So this time, pass things over to Mr. Brickey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Kevin Brickey, Management and Budget. The calculated change in the millage represents a 2.76% increase from the aggregate rollback rate. State law requires that we also describe the reason for the increase over the rollback rate. The budget under consideration tonight reflects in part normal as well as recently heightened inflationary pressures and in the cost of doing business. It also reflects the need to provide local government services to a growing population, which includes ongoing funding for transportation, fire rescue services, statutory and contractual commitments, union contracts, technology upgrades, constitutional officers, and certain other county needs. Commissioners, prior to providing a review of the budget tonight, I'll hand over to our County Administrator, Bonnie Wise, for a few opening remarks.
Thank you. And I'll keep them brief because you'll be hearing from Kevin already. And although this is the second and final budget public hearing that's required by statute, it is also an important opportunity to demonstrate our commitment to transparency, fiscal responsibility, and responsive local government. As discussed at the first public hearing, I'm proud that the tentative fiscal year 26 budget includes a millage rate reduction for all county residents, whether living in one of the 3 cities or in the unincorporated area. We're continuing to return value to our taxpayers while strategically investing in public safety, infrastructure, and services that support our rapidly growing community. Hillsborough County remains on solid financial footing, backed by AAA bond ratings from all 3 major rating agencies. That level of confidence doesn't just happen by accident. It's the result of disciplined planning and responsible long-term management. This year's budget further strengthens our position with a partial replenishment of our catastrophic reserves, ensuring we're ready to quickly respond and effectively manage emergencies and unforeseen events. I want to thank you all for all the budget workshops we have had, our dedicated county staff, and especially Kevin and his team, and all the residents of the Hillsborough County for your engagement and partnership throughout this process. Your input and involvement helps us build a better budget that reflects our shared priorities. So with that, I'll turn it over to Kevin.
Thank you. Commissioners, the budget the board will adopt tonight reflects the tentative budget approved on September 4th as amended by updates that have been or may be made. The FY26 budget is balanced, and the county continues to maintain its general obligation AAA bond rating from all 3 major rating agencies. The budget you will vote on tonight reflects investments that are consistent with the county's strategic focus. The tentative budget is a little bit over $12 billion. The operating portion of that is $4.4 billion. 24% of that is for public safety. The change in the budget from this current fiscal year is $1.7 billion. 75% of that is in the capital program, particularly the One Water project. As the county administrator mentioned, we do have millage reductions for those in the cities, as well as the unincorporated area. We did have a built-in millage swap that further strengthens the unincorporated area, and there also is a millage reduction due to the fact that the parks bonds are no longer needed in the unincorporated area. The tentative countywide general fund is $1.6 billion, of which 56% of that goes to constitutional officers and other outside agencies, particularly the sheriff's office. The FY26 unincorporated area general fund is $900 million. Similarly, 66% of that budget is for public safety purposes. The FY26 budget includes some substantial investments in capital projects from some one-time revenues, particularly in transportation, fire rescue emergency management, sheriff. We also have investments in stormwater, parks, and pet resources. Tonight, as was said, you'll adopt the final millage resolution, final budget resolution after public comment and board discussion. The CIP will follow, hearing will follow immediately. And in this long calendar, we are at the end. And I thank you. It would be appropriate to take public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Brickey. This time we'll open public comment. There are 8 speakers that have signed up this evening. It appears that most, if not all, are here in support of HOPE funding. I want to personally thank you all for your continued vigilance on this critically important issue, and I want to assure those speakers in advance that the board has previously determined the level of funding in this year's budget, and that's not going to change tonight. So with that, first 3 speakers, Sheila Simmons-Tribble, followed by Justin LaRosa and Lois Price. Good evening.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Sheila Simmons-Tribble, a member of Bible-Based Fellowship Church and the co-president of HOPE. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to stand here before you again to advocate for public housing, affordable housing, particularly for the most vulnerable in our community. And tonight I really want to speak to the seniors and speak about the children. Right now, 59% of our seniors are financially burdened, and according to the Hillsborough Homeless Initiative, seniors are the fastest growing homeless population in our county right now. 5,200 students are identified as McKinnon Vito, and that means that they lack a regular, fixed, adequate nighttime residence. That impacts their ability to learn, that impacts their ability around safety, but it also means that at least 37% of the chronically homeless youth age out of foster care, and 89% of them have to leave the area because they cannot find a place to live. Affordable housing is not just financially feasible by itself in terms of the funding. It does take in other resources to help make this possible. When we look at the access to decent housing that is affordable, it leads to greater stability and, yes, Commissioner Bowles, greater public safety as well. And one of the things that's so important is that access to decent, affordable housing is the most effective area and way to reduce childhood poverty. Parents with affordable housing can invest in more activities and materials to
county. I am here again to bring to your remembrance the public health crisis that we still have. I will not go over the statistics because I'd rather address some other things because you know about that already. Now, they are not living on the street because of an addiction or by choice. You see, hundreds call the streets home because they simply cannot afford rent. Homelessness is real here in Hillsborough County. Ending homelessness means it begins with affordable housing, enabling to call a place home. Our team at Sheltering the Unsheltered has boots on the ground, and we meet a lot of the people. We have developed rapport because we meet with them every other week, providing food, providing toiletries, talking with them, finding services for them. You see, when housing is attainable, everything changes. health stabilized.
5+ mobile home community, where the lot prices increased 19% in 1 year. She states that members of that park have gotten together because there are those elders in their 80s and 90s that cannot afford to pay their lot prices and also afford food. So these members of this 55+ community are putting monies together so that they can give them food to eat in the park. We had another mother who stated that their daughter and child are living with her while the daughter is trying to save money, but the prices keep rising. So about the time the daughter thinks she can move out, she can't because the prices have gone up. We had another member who told us that their 30-year-old daughter could not afford to leave home, but she's going to move to North Carolina because their other daughter moved to North Carolina and was able then to be able to afford housing. So she's joining her sister in North Carolina. These are just some of the stories in my church alone. And I know that Mr. Hagan had said that you all have already voted, you've already decided on the amount of money. I just like to keep hope in front of you because it is imperative that this fund be available at the full $10 million that is budgeted every year. And so I very much appreciate your time, and I pray that you'll continue to support these people in our community that are so desperate for housing. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next up is Barbara Topke, followed by Sharon Streeter.
Hello, my name is Barb Tepke. I live in Tampa. I attend the 7 a.m. Tuesday morning Bible study at St. Paul Lutheran, which is a member congregation of Hope. I'm here to thank you for keeping $2 million in the Hope Affordable Housing Fund. Please consider $10 million again for the year after that. Also, please read the 2019 report written for Hillsborough County by the Schimberg Center at the University of Florida. They detailed the income of different groups of workers and how much rent they could afford to pay, as well as the apartments available and the rental costs. People's salaries have gone up since then, but probably not as much as rents have. I believe the need for affordable housing is even greater now than it was in 2019. Thank you again for $2 million for housing in the next budget. Please consider $10 million for the year after that. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Final speaker this evening, Sharon Streeter.
Hi, my name is Sharon Streeter, a member of St. James House of Prayer Episcopal Church, which is a member congregation of Hope. I have 100 things I would like to say. Obviously, I don't have that much time. I just want to say that this year for me has been very sad. Sad because of many things, but directly to tonight, sad that I know there is not the commitment that there used to be to meet the needs of those with low incomes and very low incomes who need a safe and decent place to live, simply to care for their families, to get their kids to school, to have a safe place where they're not in crowded, substandard, unsafe conditions that create fires, that create vulnerability of children, that make our neighborhoods and our community unsafe because people are doubled up and living on the streets. It's sad because the stories that have been heard here over 10 years, many years when many of you were not here, were told, and people gave up their time and their resources to be here. People aren't getting paid to come here and speak. They come because of their heart, they come because of people they know, they come because of their own experience. It's also sad because of those congregations and other nonprofits who give of food, who give of counseling, who give of all kinds of things to help people who are in need. And yet the need only grows because people cannot afford a place to live, and they have to have a place to live. Another thing that really makes me sad is because this board, the majority at least of this board, let go of a very effective tool that was not put in place by Hope, funding did not go to Hope, was not created by Hope, but it was created by your very own staff who heard the cries, and they started working to see if solutions Hope brought to the table, because the members of this community don't just bring problems, we bring ideas, and those who hear us maybe act on those ideas. Those who let us talk to them maybe act on those ideas. But your staff put together a very effective tool that addresses this program. The ordinance that was put in place did not force them, did not burden them to bring money before you. It is in a recommended budget, and it helps address the problem. It helps to find those developers and nonprofits who are willing to do the hard task of creating affordable housing instead of luxury housing, of getting more 4% tax credit deals to our county, which brings money, as you've heard, it leverages. Please support the affordable housing in this coming year's budget, because this senior would love to give a small part of my taxes to affordable housing.
Appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
That closes public comment. I don't see anyone in the queue, so at this point, it's appropriate to have Kevin Brickey read the required information to the record.
Thank you. Prior to approving the millage resolution, we need to read into the record certain information. The taxing authority is the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners. The aggregate rollback rate is 8.5073 mils. The proposed aggregate millage rate of 8.7421 mils represents a 2.76% increase from the aggregate rollback rate. The millage rates to be adopted for the tax year 2025 are county-wide general revenue, 5.4608 mils, unincorporated area municipal services taxing unit, 4.6163 mils, library services, 0.5583 mils. Voted general obligation debt for environmentally sensitive lands, 0.0604 mils.
Okay, I'd now entertain a motion to adopt the millage resolution as presented by staff. The resolution has been reviewed for legal sufficiency by the county attorney's office.
So moved. Second.
Motion, Commissioner Bowles, second, Commissioner Myers. Commissioner Wostel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Earlier this year, on June the 10th, the county administrator and the county's director of budget and management presented to us at a workshop various slides that presented previous years and current years funding of transportation of funding from general funds and CIT to our vast transportation network that has been said in the past has a road network that could go linearly to San Francisco and back just in Hillsborough County. I paid particular interest to this slide that demonstrated that on one of these years, despite the fact that the unincorporated Hillsborough represents 70% of the population of Hillsborough County, the supermajority, and 800 square miles of the 1,100 square miles in Hillsborough County, this board, previous boards, not ours, of course, back in fiscal year 21, quite literally put $0 from the unincorporated to transportation and $0 from CIT to the transportation. The citizens of the county should not find that only outrageous, but deeply disrespectful. Roads and sidewalks are the #1 and #2 complaints that our offices received. I think that that should probably be without question. That being said, this year's budget, I am happy that this board is presenting to the public $134.7 million to transportation, and from what I can find is likely a record-breaking number, including 73.8 of that to the unincorporated, combined with CIT of another 46.9. I believe that this is a testament of our strength to answer the call of our citizens, and I am very proud of this board's leadership in ensuring that funding is going to the highest demands of our county residents. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Cohen.
Thank you. I just didn't want the moment to go by without thanking the county administrator and her staff for all of their work on this. They mentioned earlier the AAA bond rating across the three agencies. That is only a designation that is shared with like 50 other counties in the country, and there are 3,100 counties in the United States. So it really says something about the fiscal prudence with which this board and our administrator and her staff act in the development of this budget and the way that it is conceived. And you know, I can't speak for past budgets, but I can agree with Commissioner Westall that this one is making investments in the area that our citizens are concerned about. There is real dollars for infrastructure and for storm amelioration and for transportation improvements. And I agree that we can be proud of our hard work. I want to thank the people from HOPE for coming in. They've participated very valiantly this year in our process. And, you know, that $2 million is going to be used as a matching fund to help us develop more programs, and we're going to continue to talk about this going into the future. So that money will be there for this year, and you know, stay tuned to what we decide to do in the future.
Well said, Commissioner Cohen. So we get a motion, Commissioner Bowles, second Commissioner Myers. Please record your vote.
Commissioner Bowles? Motion carried 7-0.
Okay, I would now entertain a motion to adopt the budget resolution as presented by staff. The resolution has been reviewed for legal sufficiency by the County Attorney's Office.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Wostel, second Commissioner Myers. Commissioner Myers?
No.
You're good. All right, please record your vote.
Motion carried 7-0.
Okay, this concludes this public hearing. We will now reopen the CIP public hearing. The purpose of tonight's public hearing is to take public comment on the proposed fiscal year 2026 to fiscal year 2031 capital improvement program prior to board adoption. The Director of Management Budget will present an overview of the proposed capital improvement program. Kevin?
Thank you. The Capital Improvement Program, or CIP, is a 6-year program from FY26 through FY21 and totals $4.8 billion. We have an active CIP. FY26 includes new funding for a new fire station at Racetrack Road, one replacement station, Falkenberg, jail improvements, relocation of the sheriff's operation centers, the One Water project, various stormwater projects, parks, and additional dollars for roadway pavement, bridges, sidewalks, and intersections. Additional funding is also provided for Lithia Pinecrest and Van Dyke, as well as funding a new library and 2 replacement libraries. At this time, it would be appropriate to take public comment.
I thank you. No one had signed up in advance, but this is a public hearing. Anyone like to speak to the CIP? Okay, I don't see any. I don't see anyone in the queue. So at this time,
Move adoption.
Second.
okay. So adoption of the capital improvement program as presented by staff, and it's been reviewed by the County Attorney's Office. So motion, Commissioner Cohen, second Commissioner Wostel. Please record your vote.
Motion carried 7-0.
Okay. With that, we're adjourned.